Next month, we have Alicia Wright and Roni Blankenhorn. Then in November, we have Ian Haley Pollock and Keisha Kuipers. And then we're off in December, and we'll be back in January. Thank you, Rena. And back in January with Jimin Sao and Tariq Dobbs, and then we'll continue on until May. With lots of great things and excitements. So we are going to have our open mic. The brilliant Rena brought me the durian full of names. I will pull 5 names, one by one, and just ask that each reader please stick to 1 poem or 3 minutes, whichever comes first. So if you have written a new version of the Iliad, just like a 3-minute chunk, just a 3-minute, the best 3 minutes of the whole epic, okay? Read that for us. We do want to encourage everybody to self-care. Poems do tend to induce feelings. It's what they do. So if you need to take a moment, go ahead and step out, get yourself a glass of water, that kind of thing. Just do it with respect for the people on the microphone. Cool? Agreements? All thumbs up? Yes, yes? I forgot to say hello to the people at home. This is my Mr. Rogers moment. Hello, people at home at the live stream. We love you and everyone who's going to watch this in the future and the past, because time isn't real. Okay. We are going to hear first from Evan Carlson.
Good evening, folks. I recently choked on my own spit, which was rather debilitating. So, apologies if that comes up again.
Will you need help?
Maybe, perhaps. Alrighty. Well, I'm from North Carolina, and I moved to Chicago this past year, and this is one I wrote when I was in the mountains of North Carolina, called This Mountain. Sometimes I look out, past the racetrack road, past the houses worth a little too much, and I see this mountain, looming, looming, looming. Just as we can't see the whole of the Milky Way from our spot among the stars, I cannot see the whole of this mountain. I stand on this mountain, and there are 3 of us: galaxy, mountain, man. Only one thinks there is a way to understand more than what we're given. Thank you.
Welcome to Chicago. I am on a pretty much shameless and constant Chicago recruitment mission. You know, I grew up here, and then I left and went to a little town called New York City for a while, and then I came back here, and now I can't stand to go there again. No offense, New Yorkers watching. There's no New Yorkers watching. She said it. I love you, New Yorkers, if you're watching. Jeff O! Jeff O!
Sorry.
All right. How many hands are there on the door? There's the 2 of us again, receptors on full, trying to gauge what's happening on the other side of the door. Driving ourselves mad, trying to figure out and reading into things that we can't know without asking, without opening the door. We lean into it, feeling with all of our might, through our palms placed on the door. Our hands slide over the same area, feeling for any vibrations or energy we can get from the other side. We meet here often, trying to find out, or trying to figure out, what is happening on both sides of the door, mine and yours. As usual, I am terrified that I will open the door and no one is on the other side. I try to tell myself that it's normal, and even those who have connected will find themselves back on opposite sides of the door, needing to open it again. It's natural. But I'm just too preoccupied with the problems that were caused by the fact my mom also has a door. And when she's on the other side, there are no hands on her side of the door. I should have put it down.
It's like the toilet seat, no, just kidding. Woo! Full of it tonight! First bar of the season. Okay. Woo. My parents don't watch this, it's fine. Okay. Nicole Schutzler. Nicole. So many workshop people in your read, I love it.
Hi. This is called Seconds. At the Museum of Science and Industry, my brother Daniel asks for ice cream. He clicks his tongue, hums his song, holds his transitional objects as we move, so as to move room to room. We pat his back, tell him there is no ice cream here, only the other things we can recall within these walls of our youth. Fairy castles, model trains, peach fuzz chicks. Until just beyond the cobblestones of yesterday's Main Street, our brother Kevin spots it, a door now closed, walks to it, opens it, spills us into the past. Dusty room of remembrance, abandoned, prayerful, its soda fountain mirrors unaged but yearning, its bar stools forever too short. What is it that awaits us before it departs us? On the outside of memory, 3 orphaned children peered back at themselves, watched through the haze of yesterday, how they brandished spoons for sundaes, root beer floats, like the sound of their mother's voice, always above the spinning stools, dizzied comebacks for seconds.
So far, the 3 people who've read in the open mic seem to have generated their open mic karma by coming to the pre-performance workshop. So, no promises or anything, but it's a good idea to do. And also sign up quickly, because it does sell out. So, it's just very cool. All right, Zariah. Zariah, yay!
Hello.
Hello.
I just learned about the Chicago Poetry Center, so I'm very happy to be here.
Yay!
This is great. This is called Intimacy, and it's about it seems like so many people don't have an intimate relationship with themselves. There's an intimacy, an immediate intimacy of the body that we share with every other sensuous living thing. Unacknowledged and unthanked, this intimacy appears to disappear, and in its place emerges a crazed, culture-wide frenzy as we frantically try to fill with man-made conceit an empty space that's far too big to be filled by anything other than the web that weaves it all together. And this immediate intimacy of the body is no longer deemed necessary. Seen as superfluous, expendable, and inefficient, even while untold health crises wreak havoc on bodies and souls, and so we build bigger hospitals and bigger prisons, desperately trying to fix something that we feel has gone wrong, but still too stubborn, or too afraid, or too proud to surrender to this immediate intimacy of the body that we share with every other sensuous living thing. Thank you.
sensuous living things. Yeah, yes. Hell yeah. Like an all-female punk rock band called Sensuous Living Things. I don't know. All right. Brian Barotti.
Happy birthday!
There is like an energy to reading a Blue Hour. Every time every time that I like walk in, I kind of have like a gut feeling that I'm going to be pulled. It happens.
Magic!
Maybe it's also birthday magic because it's my birthday today. Thank you. I am I'm 29 today, which my friend called being the oldest version of a baby. So. I'm going to read a poem. It's about immigration, which feels poignant right now. It's also about complacency. So I'm going to read the title, and you're going to kind of freak out, but I promise it ends in a good spot. It's coming out in a magazine called White Wall Review in about a week. It's called Flashlight Tag, or as we called it, Mexican Border Cross. We were just beginning. The constant growth nagging at our legs told us to run. We thought little of lives hundreds of miles away, only of the rhythm of running and our gentle starlight guides. When it was my turn, I ran like hell. I was my grandfather, hopping the fence of a Nazi labor camp in a land he didn't know. I watched my back like my father overstaying his American visa. I did not yet know my body or the doors it held open, only the white hot strain of my calves, the gentle kiss of mud. I wanted cuts and bruises. I wanted to feel my skin in the game. The backyard porch, land of the free, guarded by 2 cops holding flashlights, while the rest of us snuck through the bushes until the beam's cold hand touched and forced us to sprint for our lives. I hated being a cop. Knew from somewhere deep I was the villain. I'd amble in the backyard, hope to find nothing. And even when some small movement skimmed the night, I'd let the runners go, ditched my flashlight in the thick grass. My targets at the porch sprouted wings, soared into the Midwestern sky. Thank you.
Are we gonna say happy birthday? Are we gonna do it? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ryan. Happy birthday to you. Next month, everyone's gonna be like, it's my birthday. Just start checking IDs at the door or something. All right, give it up, please, big for everybody in the open mic. Yes, yes. All right, it is time for the part of our show we like to call bringing the features up. It's very creative. It's my name for it. It's called Bring the Features Up. I'm really, really excited to have these 2 poets starting off this season. You know, those of you who've come and watched the live stream or come to the Blue Hours know that I don't really have a great system for determining who is going to read with whom. It's sort of, a patchwork of these are the people we want, and then it matches up as it matches. And somehow, it's always genius. It's always perfect. And so I like to sort of think about our features poems in relationship to each other. And I was thinking with these 2 poets about how powerfully they both use language as a way to sort of navigate their way into and through survival, so using language kind of as like a ladder, but sometimes as a lit match, and sometimes as a bludgeon when we have to. And really the way that these poems talk back at a world that doesn't want us to talk, that doesn't want us to survive, that wants us disappearing. And I find that in both of their sets of poems, I find a remaking of the world, right? Not just a tearing it down, but this new world reimagined on the other side of that. So good luck to us all, staying dry-eyed for the next bit. I will read their actual factual bios in order. We're going to start by hearing from Marianne Chan. Marianne grew up in Stuttgart, Germany, and Lansing, Michigan. She is the author of All Heathens, published by Sarah Bande Books in 2020, which was the winner of the 2021 GLCA New Writers Award, and Leaving Biddle City, published by Sarah Bande Books in 2024. Her poems have appeared in Poetry, Best American Poetry, New England Review, Kenyon Review, Michigan Quarterly Review, and elsewhere. She is an assistant professor of creative writing at Old Dominion University and teaches poetry in the Warren Wilson College MFA program for writers. Please make so much noise for Marianne Chan.
Winter flowers in Biddle City. My brother in Biddle City was famous for making the winter flowers bloom. He was 14 years old, was famous for making a big fuss in town. He was 14 years old. Football players watched him, a big fuss in town. This round-headed boy, football players watched as the flowers rose from snow. This round-headed boy didn't know that he was strange as the flowers rose from snow. The crowds of people whispered, I knew this family was strange. What's with this boy who loves flowers? The crowds of people whispered. Football players tied him up. What's with this boy who loves flowers? My brother in Biddle City. Football players tied him up as the winter flowers bloomed. Thank you all so much for being here. I am so excited to be back in the Midwest. I live in Virginia now. My name is Marianne Chan. I live in Norfolk, Virginia. And my brother lives in Chicago. My sister-in-law is here. And so I'm really excited to be back in the Midwest, back in Chicago. Thank you so much to Marty. Let's give a round of applause to Marty. And thanks to Evan, Jeff, I tried to write your names down. Evan, Jeff, Nicole, Zariah, Ryan for reading. That was an amazing open night mic. I just love the whole energy of this room tonight. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. I decided that I would read, so this is my new book. This is Leaving Biddle City. It's a book about my family and about immigration, but it's also about growing up in the Midwest, growing up in Michigan. It's about memory and forgetting. It's about my brother. It's about growing up as one of the only Asian people in a mostly white space. And so I'm going to read a couple more poems from this book tonight, but I wanted to start with some new poems, if you guys feel okay. Yeah. So these are very, very new, so if you have feedback for me, I'd be happy to hear them. This first one is called The Peephole, and it is a poem about how my mother told me not to touch my belly button as a child, and it caused a lot of problems for me, and so this is called The Peephole. My friend told me that as a child she thought people gave birth out of their belly buttons. That's so silly, I said. But the vagina to a child who has one might seem like a less acceptable candidate for the stretch of labor. She imagined the navel opening up like a mouth at the dentist, ready to purge a small mammal from its throat. I, on the other hand, was differently misled. My mother said to never tug or touch my belly button, or else my intestines might come loose and slip from the crevice, a snake tumbling out from a toppled wicker basket. So I avoided my navel at all cost, never cleaned it in the shower, and it smelled for a long time like the rotting of cut flowers. This is sort of gross, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have read this one. What we didn't know as children was that the belly button, the center of our bodies, that pocket of origin, was a hole. It was a peephole, a little glass center. Lover, don't close your eyes. My body was made for you to slide away a little flap of circular skin. You should press your eye to its tiny window. My soul has been there this whole time, getting undressed to see you. I actually think it gets a little grosser, but it's okay. Okay, so this next one is called The Liver. And I was in the Philippines this summer, and I was reading the work of Rizal Mujares, which is a wonderful Cebuano scholar. And one thing that he talks about is how the liver is like the heart. To pre-colonial Filipinos, the liver was seen as the site of love. So there's an epigraph that says, the pre-Spanish Filipino, like many of his contemporaries in Southeast Asia, believed that the liver, atay, is the seat of love. Rizal Mujares. Imagine if the emojis we sent each other were little livers of various sizes and colors. Imagine if Bonnie Tyler sang Total Eclipse of the Liver. My Western mind thinks the liver is a less appropriate symbol of love because I don't feel the liver pounding in my body when I see you. The heart, on the other hand, makes itself known, while the liver quietly filters toxins. Don't go breaking my liver, Cher said, never. But really don't. If you did, I would die because my liver performs some vital functions, like producing bile for digestion. And isn't that the sweetest thing? All the heart does is pump blood and oxygen around the body. All the heart does is remind us that we too pulsate like the sun. Pulsating like the immersion blender you use to make me and our girl a smoothie, a morning smoothie. Did you ever listen to Backstreet Boys' Quit Playing Games with My Liver or Tearing Up My Liver? No, because those songs don't exist, but shouldn't they? People once believed that the heart was the bodily site of emotion, but we learned later that it was the brain, the amygdala, the hippocampus. But perhaps the liver, our chemical, recuperative, multifunctional organ, should be considered the site and symbol of practical love. The kind of quiet affection that might inspire no frenzy, but keeps us alive in its dark, chalky, nuanced house. Liver, let me for once give you my attention. Your love is not a drumbeat in my chest. I often forget that you are there, but you have stored nutrients and minerals for me to use. And when you are too quiet and I forget that you love me, and when I pour myself onto the kitchen floor, you will restore me, my darling blood reservoir. This next one is called Voice Memo. My friend farts when she cries and records it on a voice memo that I listen to repeatedly on a yellow hot day in June, where I spend all my time in air-conditioned coffee shops drinking matcha by myself and doing no work, just laughing at farts. I envy the harmony that exists in her sad body, where all parts weep simultaneously. Her eyes, her mouth, her butt, a chorus. Everything in consensus, expressing the inexpressible sadness of our times. until it has all been released like doves at a wedding out of each circular orifice. But she doesn't like it. She says digestive issues on top of everything else. But I think it's beautiful. She's beautiful always. And on this voice memo, because she's begun laughing now, her fart sounds like a whistle, reminding us both of a train coming to town for a hot second and then departing again, disappearing into the distance like a film's slow fade. This too shall pass, says the gas. I think to myself, but I don't say aloud, even the wind is broken. Maybe my first fart poem. There might be a couple more. Okay, and this is the last of the new poems. How many of you guys are big fans of Conan O'Brien? Oh wait, how many women, how many people who are attracted to men in this room were attracted to Conan O'Brien when they were teenagers? Okay, so there's a few, right? Like there's a few, right? Okay, so this is a poem about being in love with Conan O'Brien. Late night with Conan O'Brien, or love. Okay, so my friend Lisa is here and she suggested love poem with Conan O'Brien, so that's in the parentheses because I haven't decided yet. Okay, late night with Conan O'Brien, or love poem with Conan O'Brien. You hate when people say it is what it is. Moon is one syllable, and I'd like to stop being turned on by the phrase key fob. Did you know I had a first love and it was Conan O'Brien? It was the summer of 2002, the year of orange Cheeto fingers and hot pink rubber bands on my braces, year of Axis of Evil and American Idol. I endured Leno to watch Conan wiggle around his opening monologue on my stout Sony Triniton television. I wanted to sleep with him and get hired to be a page on his show, then continue to sleep with him for the orgasms. But he was 27 years my senior, and what did I know at 13 about orgasms? I only knew lust was a sin, and late night comedy was an open window where I could climb down a rope made of tied blankets. I only knew I wanted to be unsupervised, watched by no one, to instead be the watcher of someone else's conversation. You hate when people say it is what it is, and when I told you about Conan, you said, I didn't see that coming. But I want to be on a talk show with you until it is very late at night, and the moon is one whole note in the sky. And is there anything more comforting than familiar syllables on repeat, back and forth, a joke that makes fun of a joke, a callback? Is there anything more arousing than the full moon on a TV set backdrop? It's shaped like the O in the name O'Brien, or the shocked O on my face when I see you. When will I quit being turned on by the words, fantastic show for you tonight? Well, it is what it is. I'd like the big moon of my desire to either go to sleep already, or to become a key fob that would open your door. And I'm just gonna read a couple more poems from Leaving Biddle City. And this next poem is about being one of the only Asian people in a mostly white school and encountering another Asian person. So I grew up partly in Stuttgart, Germany, on an American military base, which is very diverse. And then when I was 11, we moved to Michigan, to this mostly white kind of rural community. And that transition was really challenging for my brother and me. And so a lot of this book kind of explores sort of the challenges and also celebrates the Midwest, but while also kind of exploring the challenges of that transition. And so this poem is called Love Song for Ayumi. It's written as one long sentence. Ayumi never spoke in class, never responded to anyone who talked to her, and I tried talking to her once, no reply. But I loved her, fleecy hair, her pants too short, not in fashion, ahead of her time in her high-waisted cropped trousers. And I envied the way she drew cartoon figures expertly on a piece of notebook paper. And I was new to Biddle City, and the year before I got there she had lice, had already been considered dirty, infectious, contagious, a virus. So when I arrived, the white kids of Biddle City with the frosted tips asked if I was lice-infested too, and I said no. But the truth was I'd had lice a few years back while visiting the Philippines. And if I'm being honest, I remember that period fondly. My mother's warm fingers on my head, carefully pushing her nails onto the white insect eggs on my scalp until they snapped. But I didn't tell anyone that I enjoyed having lice, because that's weird. Could it be even? Because who likes lice? Maybe Ayumi. Perhaps she would have spoken to me if I told her. But she responded to no one, not even the teacher, not even the principal. And she was the only other Asian girl at my school. People claimed she knew no English, but they were wrong because she was a rebel. This was silence as protest. She never said a word, except one time in 7th grade health class when the teacher said, "Ayumi, what do you say if someone offers you drugs?" She replied, "Just say no." The words as clear as the Biddle City sky in springtime when it unbuttons its winter shirt to reveal the sky's bare chest, blue, 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 blue. And I loved the sound of her voice so much I wanted to hug her then, but she would have kicked me. I'd seen her kick other kids when they touched her, and I was a loser without a single friend, and she was a powerful girl, a fighter, never lowering herself. And I loved her, really, I loved her, but I didn't want to be her. Okay, I'm going to read one more poem, and this one is called Autobiography Via Forgetting. It's written in 9 parts. How many of you guys have a good memory, or a bad memory? How many of you have a bad memory? Okay, good. We're a community here of people with bad memories. Autobiography Via Forgetting. 1. I once heard someone call themselves a string of memories. The opposite is true for me. I am a cement block of forgetfulness. For every new memory, something else gets lost or disfigured. A recipe for lentils, dance moves, someone's birthday, names of directors, actors. I managed to get them all wrong. Some people claim they've retained memories from past lives. I can't remember what happened in this one. 2. Most of my childhood is gone from my brain. I ask my brother questions and we sort out what we know. I say, "But didn't we?" And he says, "I think that was someone else." The thing I remember most is the blue feeling in my chest as a child, that sudden gloom. My dad told me that he spoke to a colonel he worked for in the 90s. The colonel remembered me as the child who used to cry all the time. I don't remember crying all the time, but it's possible I did because I forgot that I was safe and happy. 3. I read somewhere that memory is not stored as it is on a hard drive. Instead, it is something you recreate in each version of remembering. It is a process of sculpting. Perhaps the difference between memory and imagination is simply the clay you use. 4. When I was about 8 or 9, or was it 6 or 7, I asked my mother to please give me another sibling. It was not that my brother wasn't enough, but I wanted to be the middle child, to sit between 2 bodies where I could be securely tucked away. This child would be another brain for our family, another memory maker. My parents said no, didn't even try. So I remained the youngest in my family, a flea clinging to the tip of our animal tail. We don't know and will never know what that 3rd child could have remembered that we've all now forgotten. 5. In my early 20s, I had a boyfriend who asked me if I ever forgot I was a racial minority. I said, yes, I forget everything. But of course it was a stupid answer to a stupid question. I mean, who walks around all the time thinking, I'm a minority, I'm a minority? 6. There are places in the US like Daly City in Northern California where more than half the people are Asian, where cultures and languages from nations of origin are kept strong. This is all to say people of color in America experience moments of majority. In the Midwest, at a Filipino gathering, for example, I am awash in majorityness. In this room where I am alone, I am majority. And in my body, my spirit takes up more space than any other spirit. The majority of me is me, while the minority of me is me as a minority. 7. What does it mean to forget something really? When I am asked to speak Cebuano, my parents' language, I struggle to put two words together. Certain words don't flake off the tongue like stewed meat from bone. But when I hear Cebuano spoken, I understand its meanings. The language is there in the mind behind a closed door, key dangling from the knob. I only have access to the meanings when someone else turns the key. It is the same as me remembering that I am a racial minority. When some external thing reminds me is when I know it most fully. 8. Now in my 30s, despite the state of the world, I want a baby. I want to hold a new memory maker against my chest like fragile glass. It amazes me how strong the desire is. S tells me to forget about it. Don't think, don't write, don't talk about it, she says, and it'll happen. And yet I cannot resist writing about it. And yet sometimes I say baby to myself as I fall asleep with my ear against my cat's ribs, her purse buzzing against my head, my baby. 9. One cannot try to forget something without remembering it. Emily Dickinson writes, "Heart, we will forget him, you and I tonight." And yet he is in the poem, immortalized like the beloved in Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. And in this poem that I'm writing, my beloved is forgetfulness. Forgetting is remembered, immortalized, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see. To get me to fall asleep, my father used to tell me to think of nothing. Tell someone not to think and the brain will run wild. The mind is fiddly that way. The mind is only manipulated by trickery, sheet counting, body scans, a catalog of the things you don't remember. Thank you so much.
This is Meghann Plunkett. Meghann Plunkett is a screenwriter and poet. Once an East Coaster working at the New Yorker, she now finds herself based in Los Angeles. She was named a Best New Poet of 2018, the winner of the 2017 Missouri Review's Editor's Prize, the Third Coast Poetry Prize, Narrative Magazine's 30 Below contest, and the North American Review's Hearst Poetry Prize. She's also been anthologized in the 2017 Best of Net Anthology. Her poems can be found or are forthcoming in Narrative Magazine, Best New Poets 2018, Third Coast, Pleiades, I never know how to pronounce that magazine's name. Anyway, Pleiades, whatever. Rattle, Washington Square Review, among many others. Her screenwriting credits include Station 19 and Rebel, and the short film Zeta Sempre. She's currently adapting the novel First Lie Wins for television along Krista Vernoff and Octavia Spencer. Her poetry and prose can be found in various journals, and in her new chapbook, the winner of the Black Lawrence Press Chapbook Prize, What We Did to Her Made the Water Rise. Please join me in welcoming to the Blue Hour table/stage Meghann Plunkett.
I started reading poetry in New York City and kept writing poetry and reading poetry in New York City because of Marty. She ran this open mic at Bar 13, and a little stalkerish before I moved to New York. I saw you read on HBO. It was a long time ago, yeah, but I saw you and I was like, I wonder where she reads, and I followed you there. So. I've been following you ever since. Researchers find that trauma is inherited through DNA. Something about the smell of bleach, church bells, my name spoken too loudly, something inside me tearing like a cheap stocking. I was an egg inside my mother when she was an egg inside her mother, an angled bathroom mirror stretching into an infinity of women, all of us learning how to be left. My mouth stitched with all the ways we learned how to be quiet. What don't I know about the way birds fly when startled? What don't I know about the ground becoming an open maw? A hand up my skirt and my hunger for what might be taken away. A spoiled sack of organ meat echoes through the decades and becomes a stash of cereal in my nightstand drawer. Who locked the door? My grandmother clears her throat, and I drink glass after glass of water. Who was it walking the long way home, shouldering away from a car full of men? What is it about a broken radio that pops me into hives? Someone's finger bleeding the needle and thread. My hand flies up to protect my face. The door creaks open. Whose reflexes are these? Unable to sleep, listening and listening for the sound of keys. That story I just told made me sound weirder than I am. I'm not weird, I promise. I've been kind of obsessed with this concept of epigenetics as the last poem kind of dug into. And one of the most astonishing studies that I read was about how they were studying grandchildren of Holocaust survivors, and they found that their puberty was delayed because they were anticipating starvation, which I found so wildly interesting and devastating. And it just, I don't know, I think all the time about my behaviors, like telling that weird story, or like wanting to read poetry, or being someone that likes to write sad things. I really try to write funny things, and I just can't do it, so I admire you so much, your ability to do that. Trying to kind of decipher where these things come from. But this is kind of the opposite of that. Researchers find that the father's DNA stays in the brains of impregnated women, even those who don't carry to term. At the store, they don't have oranges, so I scoff loudly. I dig my thumb into one perfect tomato. The spite is not mine, and I can tell it's him. When I'm at the bar, my eyes slope up and down the skinny girl. I imagine taking her home, yes, pushing her face away as I fuck her. My hands feel too large, so empty. And what about the salt grinding my teeth flat? A spoonful each morning, hungry for something bitter. Look at him, nested inside my newfound fear of heights. That one wire hair growing from the bone of my chin. Boiling irises darker into his hazel-flecked daggering. Yes, I did not ask for this. A hollow booming from the core of me. Lost, stinking like breast milk. Swelling awake each morning, my hands wrapped around my own throat. How can I forget this small mite sleeping through me? Tree knots rotting soft through my temples. How do I knock the neon out of that night? How can I forgive the girl who said yes? God damn it, I said yes. Don't have to clap for it, it's fine. This one's about period sex though, so you should clap for this one. Nightshade. She called me the morning after, hair brambled into a nest, her eyes an upshot of so what to tell me that after bottles clinked out of her father's liquor cabinet, they fucked in every room. And she broke open, forgetting to count the days of her cycle. Her hips a burst of red snarl all over the house, the sofa, the kitchen, his parents' bedroom, a trophy of defiance they grinned through as she puddled, unaware of the blood anchoring out of her. And when the sun rose, he called her bitch for the stains on his mother's linens, teardrop shapes sloping from where she bent over the armchair, thick fingerprints purpling on the counter. She called me, and I appeared there in this instance of mourning with arms heavy, jugs of cleaning agent. She led me to the deepest mark of her, a nightshade, a bodiless heart imprinted on an eggshell duvet, and it was something ancient, the way we took a knee and began to scrub, grinning into each other, dipping rags into cups of bleach. Why wouldn't this be as natural as saying our own names? As if we weren't familiar with this kind of slow removal, as if we didn't already know how to clean ourselves out of the world. This poem is called Revenge Porn, and I do a little bit of computer coding, or I used to. So I was kind of messing around with the analytics on my website, and I have this poem on my website, and I have a lot of poems about mothers. So this poem is called Revenge Porn. I have other poems with mother in the title, and I found that someone found my website by Googling mother porn, and found my website, which I think is so funny because they were just ready to have a weird time with themselves, and then I found all these sad poems. I hope I both ruined their day and also taught them a few things. Anyway, this is called Revenge Porn. There's plenty to regret. The cigarette tilted in a china blue ashtray, the little smudge of lipstick on my teeth, how I stare like a buckshot target into the camera, my hair flipped like a mare's tail. Everything about me is asking. This is a fossil of me ossified into a half moon, grabbing at my ankles, my two nipples reaching out like the arms of a tired child. Look at my breasts, the way they can be used against me, the way he has me flat, malleable, wearing a younger face, the inexhaustible resource of my body spread out onto his skull-colored bed, able to be uploaded, a virus eating itself from the inside out. It's my own shape that I'm afraid of, the weapon of my body, how it points back at itself. I'm going to read two more poems. One is a new poem. You've inspired me to read some newer things. And also, I think I'm going to read the poem that I just wrote in Marty's workshop, which is amazing. Everyone should go. It really, I don't know, I haven't been in a generative class in a long time, and it made me so happy. So, oops. Okay. This is about autoimmune diseases. Everyone's excited about that. When I found out that I had an autoimmune disease, I learned what it was, which, if anyone doesn't know what it is, it's when your body attacks itself. And I was like, that's bad writing. That metaphor is too... right? It's silly. Autoimmune. They call it the great imitator. And in that way, we know each other. You think I can't fill in the gaps of someone's personality? You think I won't mirror, repeat, rinse and reset my traits and blend my life into an unnoticeable one? Please. I wake up with my own teeth marks on my ankle. I wake up with a full moon in my skull. I sit on the edge of my bed until the medication works, cells attacking cells, my immune system forgetting what is foreign. At the clinic, the doctor squints at my blood work. A Rorschach test in the shape of my mother. There are gaps and spikes of too much and too little. He taps the hollow of my back, ringing my kidneys like a tuning fork. Look at this animal skulking in and out of the corners, gnawing on the marrow of my bone, enjoying the delicacy, course after course. I am my own parasite, thumbing up the last crumb. Look at the ways I have learned how to be worn down to dust. The invisible howling of vertigo stretching my days into a milky fog, stretching my mind back to the hibernating den, nose to tail, a whole pack of them set loose inside of me, yipping and gnashing, something wholly unnatural. Some days they're starving. Some days I stoke the flames. I tie myself to the spit. I am turning and turning, a tender meal. Eat, that's what I'm good for. I also have been learning about how common it is for people to have autoimmune diseases, so if you have one, come tell me what flavor you have. Because I love to talk about it. This is not working for me. Okay, so this is a poem based on the generative workshop that Marty just did, and it's based off of one of your poems that, I forget the title of it.
When the man at the party says he wants to own his own Filipino.
And she gave a prompt off of that poem, so this is a prompt off of her. There were many different steps to it, it was brilliant, so this is my attempt at following along. The doctor tells me that he thinks I like the attention of being sick. It's my 10th visit and nothing has worked. Nothing has lessened the antibodies, nothing has leveled the white blood cells or deflated the blimping CRP levels. I asked too many questions. I researched too much research. I message portaled too many message portals. And I can tell it's getting to him. The Yale degree blinks above his head like an exit sign, and the neon heart monitor above me continues to alert us that 155 beats per minute is not good. My response was nothing. My response was a clogged drain choking on his image of me. I could have said, "What's wrong with wanting attention?" I could have hugged him and told him that it's okay to need. I could have rocked him like a little baby and asked him how many nights he cried himself to sleep before he learned that no one was coming to scoop him up. Below me was the sterile linoleum and the kind of emptiness only a hospital floor can have. I could have said, "It's okay, you don't know how to fix me. It's okay that you are annoyed by my persistence, that you are angry that when I correct your terminology." I have been reading medical papers like astrology. It's okay that you aren't used to a woman challenging your competency by asking and suggesting and presenting annotations and case studies and drug trials. I could have said, I think the attention and comfort that comes with always being right is what you like. And I think I might remind you of the time you failed your biology exam and your father wouldn't look you in the eye for a week. But instead I said nothing, which was the umbrella to keep him dry, which was a shelter I built for him, which is a kind of care I give to him. Because I know how to white knuckle brighter than his white coat. I know how to play a pain scale like a piano. I inherited the script I was born with, the lines of pretending everything is okay for the sake of someone else. I was born to smile at a man in order to make him feel better. So I do. I care for you. I'll care for you. And I'll pay the copay.
Many applauses for Meghann Plunkett and Marianne Chan. It was a wonderful workshop. We do have questions about the poem. It was fantastic, so wonderful, and I was so glad Meghann was able to be there also. We do a bunch of writing in it, so come on up if you want to be inspired and do some writing and talk about great poems. Okay, that is our show for tonight. There are going to be books for sale in the back. Both of our features have books. Traditionally speaking, the Blue Hour audience is a heavily book-buying audience. Do not make me a liar. I have told their publishers this. Go back there, buy their books. If you can't buy a book, just stand in line anyway and say how amazing they were. Be sure to sign up for the mailing list if you're not already on it. There are cups being thrown, but also beer, wine, water, etc. Pick that up. Big thanks to the Chicago Poetry Center staff, our incredible volunteer Chris, our amazing interpreter Gabby. Can you imagine you're like listening to the poem and also translate? Like it's my brain explodes. Enjoy the evening, make a new poetry friend, and hopefully we'll see you next month. God bless you.